All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Marakah Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone of Ruel. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect, the Bayak, Dawadah, the house of David. So this is the brother Malak coming back at you with this truth, right? All right, so let's go right into this here. You see, because I always bring these out here. So this is the United Nations Agenda 2030, right, for a new world order. Okay, it says the 17 Sustainable Development Goals that make up the Agenda 2030 essentially serves as the recipe for the coming technocracy New World Order, right? The UN plans, United Nations, to have nations to continue to impose new laws and incentives upon the citizens. In effort to achieve these goals, which they lump under sustainability, the Agenda 2030 is a ramp up from its predecessor, Agenda 21. As it aims to control everything, control all lands, water, energy, technology, production, information, animals, and all humans through AI 6G blockchain. So 6G, right, which is another high frequencies of radiation, which is going to consist with that chip, which is the RFID microchip, the radio frequency identification chip, right, which is all hooked up, which pretty much is going to hook you up to the cloud, man. Okay? You see, through a blockchain, which they're going to be able to trace, track, and control everything that you do, which hooks you up to a smart city now, 15-minute smart city, which you can go anywhere, 15-minute radius in your city. All right, surveillance, monitoring, analysis, reporting, and tracking. That's what smart is consist of. You see, all right, when you understand the breakdown on it. All right. Now, you got the smart dust that's in the air. You got the EMF, which is the electromagnetic frequencies or electromagnetic fields, right? Which henceforth drops down all these many different things and products, which hooks you up to the cloud, man. All right, especially if you took that jump shot. All right, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of things. I got a video on it, which is going to explain it, man. All right, and what this guy is talking about in the video. You see? So all these things you're coming to understand what we're talking about according to scripture. All right? You see? Now let's continue on. Where we at? It says AI, 6G blockchain, and RFID. Thus, the elite are setting the stage to enslave humanity under the rule of the Antichrist, right? Which it says right there, right? So let's go over here. Right, let's go to the matter of fact, let's read it all, right? This is 10, 11, and 12. Okay, it says what we are told: reduce inequality within countries, right? It says, well, yeah, it says being developed countries down to near poverty level. All right. All right, it says while rising poor nations while slightly above poverty levels, Salakia, set up short-term gig jobs in race to bottom economy. 11, it says sustainable cities and communities. It says make cities safe and sustainable. Move everyone into a smart cities with a social credit score, right? Carbon footprint and so on and so forth. All right, everything connected via blockchain, 5G, 6G, IoT, which is Internet of Things, IOB, Internet of Bodies, and even the IOE, Internet of Everything, and AI, artificial intelligence. You see, because that's what's going to be. You got drones, you got Palantir, you got Gideon, right? You got all these things of that nature, right? Which is going to be surveillance. You got flock cameras. Right, and so on and so forth, man. This is all a part of the beast system. All right, it says consistent surveillance and gun control, right? Responsible consumption and production, right? It says ensure sustainable consumption and production partners, food, water, and ration based off social credit score. Punish those who throw away food and consumption of frankenfoods and GMOs, genetically modified organisms. Now let's go over to 16 and 17, which this is the one I mainly like to bring out a lot because it's giving a lot of information. So if you see these come out in a lot of videos, hey, this is through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, so it says 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions. It says promote peaceful societies and inclusive institutions for sustainable development. Only those with the RFID chip, which is the microchip MOTB, right? And a digital ID, right, which is the beginning of it. It's going to eventually go down to that RFID microchip, right, which is track, trace, and control, right? UPC, Universal Product Code. You become the Universal Product Code. You become the track, trace, and control. You understand? All right? You see, eyes will be put on you. Okay? All right, it says digital ID passport with biometrics. Bio meaning the study of the body or life, and metrics meaning the length of the study of the body. Right? It says data on a blockchain. Right? Blockchain records all of your movements and tracking. Right? Things that you buy. You see, and many different other things that have your medical records, your criminal history, your whatever, or whatever is on that. Everything is on that blockchain. Okay, it says can be a part of the peaceful society. Social credits will be used to get the population to obey the new world order and to punish unwanted behavior. Those who do not comply will be imprisoned or have all benefits on a blockchain turned off. You see, all benefits on a blockchain turned off, which consists of your CBDCs, your central bank digital currencies, universal basic income, right? And so on and so forth. That's how it'll be delivered, but delivered through what? The chips. That's how everything is going to be delivered, through those chips. You see? I mean, you understand, man, what's really going on here, man. All right? 17, it says partnership for the goals. It says strengthen the means of implementation and revitalize global partnership for sustainability in order to implement all 17 SDG sustainable development goals and maintain global partnerships for the goals. A number of key technologies need to be further pushed on society, such as the CBDC, central bank digital currency, blockchain technology, CRISPR gene editing, right, transhumanism, you know, hooking merging man up with machine, the fourth and fifth industrial revolution, right? AI monitoring sensors and AI and biometric facial recognition cameras, 5G, 6G, smart cities. You see RFID chip, IoT, Internet of Things, IoB, Internet of Body, robotics, etc., to fully control the world. And that's what's going to happen, where robotics is going to take over. You see, robots, right? And as you know, when you watch the movie, what is it, iRobot, as you can see, and you watch the movie Elysium, right, and all these things of that nature, you'll find out what we're talking about here, man. Okay? All right? Now, let's go into this here real quick, right? Let me go on here. Operation Rubicon, Rubicon, right? So, Operation Rubicon was a decades-long top-secret intelligence operation ran by the CIA in West Germany, B&D, which secretly owned the Swiss company Crypto AG to manipulate its encryption machines, allowing them to read the encrypted communications of numerous governments, including adversaries and allies from the 1970s until the 1990s. CIA, right, Central Intelligence Agency, right, and 2018 BND, and it considered one of the most successful espionage operations in history, providing intelligence on major world events like Falklands War and Iran hostage crisis. How it worked, it said secret ownership. The CIA and the BND secretly brought Crypto AG and major manufacturers of encryption devices in the 1970s. Backdoor technology. The rigged Crypto AG's machines was hidden weakness, allowing them to easily decrypt messages sent by countries using the devices. It says client deception. It says Crypto AG sold its machines to the governments worldwide, including Iran, India, Pakistan, and many Latin American countries who were aware their communications were comprised. Right? It says key outcome and impact. It says vast intelligence gathering. The operation provided the U.S. and Germany with access to encrypt communications from dozens of countries for decades, major historical events, intelligence, and Rubicon was used to inform decisions during events like the 1980 Falklands War, the 1986 Belgium Disqualky bombing, and the 1970 COP in Chile exposure. The operation was exposed in 2020 by the investigative journalists, leading to political fallout and investigations in Switzerland. All right. It says Scottish police investigation. Operation Rubicon was also the name of a Scottish police investigation into phone hacking, right? Against journalists, right? Allegations against journalists. You see? So there's a lot of things going on. I got 2 videos involved in here, right? One about 6G, which is hooking you up to the cloud with your RFID microchip, right? Your Internet of Body, Internet of Things, Internet of Everything, right? And so on and so forth. And then you have this right here, which I'm talking about right here, right? Which is the crypto and how things are going on of that nature. Okay, so let's go and let's read some scriptures first and foremost. Let's get out of here, right? And let's go into Revelation, the 13th chapter, in the 15th verse. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, right? And that's your concentration camps, Revelation 2 and 10, Revelation 3 and 10. Okay? These FEMA camps, these concentration camps, these death camps, all right, which have guillotines and so on and so forth. Guillotines, torture rooms, firing squads, right? The red list, the red list, the blue list, the yellow list, right? Chipping centers, right? Which is involved in there, right? See, compliance, okay? 16, it says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. That mark right there is charagma. I'm not going to go into it because we always go over it. You should know it by now, all right? That's charagma, which is going to be, to put that charagma in you, they're going to use the charax, right? Which is the etching or the scratching under the skin, which is a device, which is a needle device to push up underneath your forefinger and your thumb, right? And then you got the BCI, the brain communication or the brain computer interface, right? Which is Neuralink, synchronized, and so on and so forth. Many different other companies that run with these things to hook you up to the cloud. Okay? You see? It says in their right hand or in their foreheads, it says that no man might buy or sell transactional, right? Save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, right? Because you're not going to be able to function, because they're going to make it a cashless society. You're not going to be able to move around in a society without having that chip, right? You're not going to be able to buy and sell, right? But I tell you this, you take that chip, Yahweh Shemel Shai will destroy you. You will be destroyed by ICBM intercontinental ballistic missiles here in Babylon the Great. Okay? And I'm just going to tell you that right now. All right? And we're going to read it to you to show you that Yahweh Shem Yahushua said you will be destroyed. All right? Save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that haveth understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 603 score and 6. Now, we always read about the UPC. The Universal Product Code. That's what that's allotting to. You see? When you understand, that's a form of what it's allotting to, right? Because that's this man's number. Chi Stai Sigma, right? Hooked up with AI and so on and so forth, man. That's the number of imperfection. That's the number of the beast. That's the number of the super elites, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Oppenheimers, the DuPonts, the Gettys, the high-up banking families, right? All right, now let's go over here to chapter 16, Revelation 16 and 2. It says, and the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark, right, the charagma of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image, right? And that sword is Helkos, right? Let's go into it just real quick. Just real quick. All right. The word sword. I'll play it.
Strong's G 1668. Helkos. Helkos.
Helkos, right? Now I did numerous videos going back onto this, man, with them 6G, the 5G and 6G towers. There's nothing but high frequencies of radiation, right? Which is going to cause that grievous sore, that pus, that discharge of pus, a sore, an ulcer, right? Because radiation is not good for the body. Radiation can destroy your body. Okay? You see? It says an ulcer as if drawn together sore. Okay? Alright? Now let's go down to verse number 10. Right? It says, and the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast, and his kingdom was full of darkness, and they gnawed their tongues for pain, and blasphemed the power of heaven, right? Yahweh of heaven, because of their pains and their sores, and repented not of their deeds. You see? Alright, let's go over to 14 and 9. Okay? And you see the doom for worshippers of the beast. That's the subhead. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into a cup of his indignation, right, righteous anger. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. The Lamb is Yahweh. And the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever, and they have no rest, day nor night. It says, who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Here is the patience of the saints, and here are they that keep the commandments of Yahweh and the faith of Yahweh. So you take that chip, Yahweh is going to destroy you. ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missiles, which is going to be shot off by all his constituents, Esau's constituents in these other different nations, right? Right? NATO and the EU, Russia, China, all these things of that nature. You see, they're all gonna shoot off these missiles, right? And that's the fire and the brimstone, those missiles. Okay, and you will be destroyed by taking that chip. All right. So without further ado, we're just gonna move on. We're gonna play these two videos for you. All right, and Lord willing, we'll see you in another one. All right. And so we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Marakah Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who well. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect, the Bayat, Dawadah, the house of David, Kwam Yasha'Allah, Abad Babal, repent ye, for the kingdom of Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai is at hand. Shalom.
Technological singularity has to do primarily with the technology of the 5G towers, which have been upgraded to 6G terahertz, which is 1,000 times more powerful than 5G waves. We now have millimeter waves under 6G terahertz. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. Then we have NATO airplanes dumping smart dust particulates, biosensors, full of graphene, aluminum, titanium, lithium, strontium, barium, etc., arsenic poison, probably. Anyway, they've been dumping that like every 10 minutes, 16 hours a day, everywhere in the world for 2 years now. And previously, they were dumping it at a slower pace. That's 7G technology. In other words, it's still the 6G terahertz electronic energy, but now that energy is bouncing off all the air pollution, all the particulates in the sky. And it's bouncing off all the bunny rabbits and squirrels and birds and bees. The bees are all augmented now with the smart dust. All the humans are out there running and cycling and getting out and hiking up Half Dome in Yosemite Park and going to see what's left of Glacier National Park. There are no glaciers in Glacier National Park. If you didn't know, it's Glacier National Park minus the glaciers. But if you're out there getting exercise and feeling good about yourself, just know you're polluting the heck out of your skin, your eyes, your breathable air, your lungs are ingesting all of these nanoparticulates, which include biosensors, which hook you up to the cloud, which hook you up to each other and turn you into a human antenna. And God forbid, if you're vaccinated and boosted, or you get a flu shot, or you go to the dentist a lot and get lidocaine injections, you are aglow. You are aglow with radio frequency. But my point is that whatever radio frequency weapons that we had 5 years ago are greatly enhanced by the air pollution and the weather warfare, because not only can the pollution particulates in our sky that linger for days, not only are those particulates capable of tracking and targeting humans in zip codes, they also can modify the weather.
Intelligence, BND, to spy on the world for decades. Sound familiar?
Imagine that. If Huawei becomes the leading 5G provider in the world, then China can spy on everyone, which is terrible, because that's what America wants to do.
The Washington Post and German public broadcaster ZDF revealed how intelligence services in both countries secretly purchased Swiss manufacturer Crypto AG in the 1970s and sold rigged encoding machines to more than 120 countries, including Iran, Latin America, India, Pakistan, and even the Vatican. Paranoia in China and the Soviet Union over the West's activities kept them safe from purchasing any devices. Foreign governments were paying good money to the US and West Germany for the privilege of having their most secret communications read by at least 2 and possibly as many as 5 or 6 foreign countries. Here are some key events in history which they were listening in on. Egyptian President Anwar Sadat's conversation with Cairo was being monitored during the 1978 Camp David Accords. They tapped into Iran's mullahs' conversations during the 1979 hostage crisis and gave intelligence about Argentina's military to Britain during the Falklands War. During the period between 1970 and 1975, sales increased to more than $19 million. And records show that at least 4 countries, Israel, Sweden, Switzerland, and the United Kingdom, were aware of the operation or were provided intelligence from it by the United States or West Germany. During the early 90s, Germany became weary of the risk of exposure and sold its shares to the CIA. In 2018, the CIA sold the company's assets to 2 private companies. Cyone Security AG is one of the 2 companies founded in 2018. It says it remains completely independent of the former Crypto AG and has no ties with any foreign intelligence services. Switzerland recently suspended foreign sales of crypto products and launched an investigation into the links between the CIA and BND. Crypto's products are still used in more than a dozen countries around the world.